The first Lagos light bleeds through floor-to-ceiling windows, painting cold stripes on polished concrete. Femi Adebayo 30s, sharp jawline shadowed, expensive silk pajamas rumpled, stares blankly at his phone. The screen glows, endless, curated perfection. Beach vacations, luxury cars, laughing couples. His thumb scrolls fast, frantic. A notification pops. Mama Blessing commented on your photo. My son, when will you bring home a good wife? My friends are carrying grandchildren. Oh. Femi flinches. Throws the phone onto the sleek, empty sofa. It lands with a soft thud. Silence, thick and heavy, broken only by the distant, relentless drone of the Third Mainland Bridge traffic. He runs a hand over his close-cropped hair, eyes hollow. The apartment is immaculate, sterile. A monument to success that feels like a tomb. Chaos erupts. Not the curated kind. Raw, visceral, alive. Rain slaps the corrugated iron roofs of 1,000 stalls, a frantic drumbeat. Gutters overflow, swirling with plastic bottles and rotten peels. The air is a thick soup. Diesel fumes clawing the throat, the greasy tang of Accra frying in bubbling oil vats. The sharp sting of fresh pepper ground on stone. And underneath it all, the sour-sweet reek of damp earth and unwashed bodies. Amidst the muddy river of rushing feet, cheap plastic sandals, worn flip-flops, expensive sneakers dodging puddles, sits Alibaba Tund 70s. He's folded onto a scrap of soaked cardboard near a leaking gutter. Rainwater drips from the frayed edge of his ancient, faded agbada, the once blue fabric now the color of dishwater, stiff with grime. His thin frame shivers visibly beneath it. His feet, bare and cracked, are submerged in muddy water. A chipped plastic bowl holds a few grimy naira notes, weighted down with a stone. His eyes, deep-set and roomy, scan the rushing crowd, not begging, just observing. The weight of his invisibility is a physical thing, a shroud. A young woman in a crisp office blouse, balancing an umbrella and a steaming cup of akamu, steps over his outstretched legs without a downward glance, her high heels clicking sharply on the wet pavement. Trembling, knuckles swollen, skin like old leather, etched with deep lines. He clutches a small, worn plastic bag containing half a moldy ajij bread. He breaks off a tiny piece, puts it in his mouth, chews slowly. His gaze drifts towards a large, garish poster plastered on a nearby kiosk wall. Femi Adebayo Tech Solutions, innovating Africa's future. It shows his son, confident, handsome, radiating success in a sharp suit. Baba Tun's eyes linger. Not pride. Something deeper, sadder. A silent tear tracks through the grime on his cheek, lost instantly in the rain. Femi strides through gleaming glass doors. Polished marble floors reflect the harsh fluorescent lights. Air conditioning hums, sterile and cold. He's transformed. Immaculate navy suit, crisp white shirt, gold Rolex gleaming at his wrist. Confidence radiates. Staff murmur greetings. Good morning, sir. He nods curtly, his expression unreadable. The dawn's hollowness masked by practiced authority. His phone buzzes. He glances. Another message. Uncle Deli. Femi, your father called again from the village. He sounds weak. When are you going? This stubbornness. Femi silences the phone, jaw tight. He enters his corner office. Panoramic view of the Lagos lagoon choked with traffic. He doesn't look at the view. He pours expensive imported water into a crystal glass. His hand trembles slightly. He slams the glass down, water sloshing. The rain has eased to a drizzle. Steam rises from wet concrete. The market thunders. Vendors hawk wares in rapid-fire Yoruba and Pidgin English. Car horns blare incessantly. A radio blares Fuji music distorted by static. A baby wails shrilly from a nearby stall. Baba Tund is still on his cardboard island. His bowl holds a few more coins. He coughs a deep, wet rattle that shakes his thin frame. He hunches over, trying to stifle it. A young woman, Chioma, late 20s, approaches. She's not rich. Her Ankara dress is neat but slightly faded. Her sandals practical. She carries a large woven basket filled with vegetables. Her face is kind, open, framed by neat cornrows. She navigates the muddy chaos with weary competence. She sees Baba Tund coughing, stops, hesitates, glancing at the impatient crowd flowing around her. Then she digs into her basket, pulls out a small, clean plastic bag containing 2 warm puff-puff donuts. She crouches carefully, avoiding the dirty water, and places them gently in his bowl, next to the coins. "Baba," she says softly in clear Yoruba, her voice warm like honey. "Take. Small thing for the belly. This rain is too much today." She doesn't wait for thanks, just gives a small, tired smile and melts back into the rushing crowd. Baba Tund stares at the puff-puff. A simple act. Unexpected. Genuine. He picks one up. The warmth seeps into his cold fingers. He takes a small bite. Sweetness. Softness. He closes his eyes for a second. When he opens them, they hold a new intensity. He watches Chioma disappear into the market maze, memorizing her face, her basket. Femi sits across from Amaka 30s. Stunning. Designer dress hugging her curves, flawless makeup, expensive perfume cutting through the scent of gourmet food. She meticulously cuts a piece of grilled salmon. Her long, manicured nails tap lightly on the crystal glass of champagne. "So Femi," she says, her voice smooth, polished. "This new contract with the ministry, very impressive. Daddy was asking about it." She takes a delicate sip. "He was also asking, again, about your plans. You know." She raises a perfectly sculpted eyebrow. "It's been 2 years. People talk." Femi forces a smile. "Charming. Empty. Amaka, please. You know how busy I am. Building an empire isn't done in a day. And marriage? It's a big step. Must be with the right person. Someone who understands this life." He gestures vaguely around the opulent room. Amaka's smile doesn't reach her cold, calculating eyes. "Of course, darling. The right person. Someone with the right connections, the right background." She leans forward slightly. "Just remember, time isn't waiting. And neither are other opportunities." The threat hangs, veiled in perfume and privilege. Femi's knuckles whiten on his fork. He looks past her, out the window, seeing nothing but the pressure closing in. The market is at its peak frenzy. Sun breaks through, turning steam into shimmering heat. Baba Tund is still there, a fixture of suffering. He's developed a strategy, observing the interactions near the busy Ankara stall across from him. He sees Chioma again, haggling fiercely but fairly with a yam seller, her laughter bright and real despite the sweat on her brow. He sees young men preening for girls, women gossiping, traders shouting. He sees the harshness, the struggle, but also flashes of connection, of shared laughter over a shared struggle. A commotion erupts nearby. A young man, rough-looking, face twisted in anger, shoves an elderly woman selling groundnuts. Her tray clatters, nuts scattering into the mud. "You old witch! You gave me fake change," he roars, drawing a small crowd. Chioma is there instantly. She steps between them, basket held firmly. Wouldn't be dis now. See how you day push mama and catchy. Pick her groundnut now. Abi you no get mama?" Her voice is firm, commanding, laced with righteous anger. "Not afraid. The thug hesitates, taken aback by her directness. He mutters curses but bends down, sullenly picking up a few nuts before shoving his way out of the crowd. Chioma helps Mama Nkechi up, speaking softly to her, helping her gather the salvageable nuts. Baba Tund watches, a flicker of something like hope in his weary eyes. Strength, kindness, fire. He notes the stall Chioma returns to, Chioma's fresh produce. Darkness. Femi sits slumped on the sofa, the only light the harsh glow of his laptop screen. Financial reports. He's not reading them. The phone rings. It's his mother's picture. He stares at it. The ringing stops. Starts again. Persistently. He finally swipes answer, puts it on speaker. Femi. His mother's voice, thin strained, crackles down the line from the village. Femi Omomi, answer me. It's your father. A pause filled with static and unsaid fear. He left Femi 3 days ago. He said he was going to Lagos. To see you. To talk some sense into you. About marriage. About family. But he hasn't called. We don't know where he is. His phone is off. Femi, please. You must find him. He's not strong. Her voice breaks into sobs. Femi sits frozen. Cold dread washes over him, colder than the apartment's AC. Lagos? Here? Mama, how could he? He doesn't know Lagos. Where would he even? His mind races, picturing the vast, dangerous, unforgiving city. His polished facade cracks completely. Raw panic and guilt contort his face. Mama, I'll find him. I promise. The lie tastes like ash. He ends the call abruptly, staring into the dark. The image of his father, frail and village-bound, lost in the monstrous sprawl of Lagos, is terrifying. The weight of his neglect crashes down, heavy and suffocating. Baba Tund is back on his cardboard. The sun is already fierce. He feels weaker today. The cough is deeper. He focuses on Chioma's stall. She's arranging tomatoes, humming softly. He needs to get closer. Needs to know. He gathers his meager belongings, the bowl, the plastic bag. Moves with painful slowness to a spot directly opposite her stall, near a pile of discarded crates. He lowers himself gingerly. The effort leaves him breathless. Chioma notices him. Her brow furrows slightly. She remembers the puff-puff. She grabs a small, slightly bruised but perfectly good mango from her stall. Walks over. Baba, she says gently, placing the mango in his bowl. This sun is too hot. Take this. It has juice. She looks at him, really looks. Sees the exhaustion, the illness beneath the dirt. Baba, where is your family? Do they know you are here? Baba Tund looks up at her. His voice, when it comes, is a dry rasp barely audible over the market din family. He whispers, his eyes holding hers with an unexpected intensity. My son, he is lost. He doesn't mean physically. Femi drives, knuckles white on the steering wheel of his sleek SUV. He's been to the bus stations, showed his father's faded village photo to disinterested officials. Nothing. The city mocks him through the tinted windows, a vast, uncaring organism. His phone rings. Amaka. He ignores it. It rings again. Persistent. He finally answers, voice tight. Femi, where are you? We have the meeting with the investors at Eco Hotel in 1 hour. This is crucial. Amaka's voice is sharp, demanding. Amaka, something's come up. Family emergency. My father is missing in Lagos. His voice cracks slightly. A pause. Then coldly. Your village father? Femi, be serious. Send one of your drivers to look. Or the police. You cannot miss this meeting. Your future depends on it. Our future. The implication is clear. Prioritize the deal, not the old man. Femi feels a surge of disgust, hot and sudden. He's my father, Amaka, he snaps, surprising himself. And I, Amaka retorts, her voice icy, am the key to the contracts you need. Be at Eco Hotel. 1 hour. Don't disappoint me. Click. The line goes dead. Femi slams his fist on the steering wheel. The car horn blares, lost in the city's roar. He's trapped between the ruthless ambition he built and the crumbling foundation he ignored. He pulls over abruptly, tires screeching on the roadside near Oshodi. He needs air, needs to think. He gets out, ignoring the shouts of agitated drivers behind him. He leans against the hot metal of his car, running a hand over his face. The stench of the market, rotting fruit, diesel, sweat hits him. The noise is deafening. He feels utterly adrift. Baba Tund watches Femi from across the crowded street. He sees the expensive car, the designer clothes, the posture of wealth and frustration. He sees his son. The sight is a physical blow. He shrinks back instinctively behind the crates, pulling his ragged agbada tighter, burying his face. Shame wars with a desperate, aching love. Femi, oblivious, starts walking aimlessly along the edge of the market, trying to clear his head, his phone buzzing incessantly. Amaka, the office. He passes the Accra stall, the yam seller. He passes the pile of crates. His polished shoe almost steps on the edge of Baba Tund's wet cardboard. Baba Tund looks up, just as Femi glances down, distracted by his buzzing phone. Their eyes meet. Time stops. Femi freezes. His phone slips from his hand, clattering onto the wet pavement. The bustling market noise fades into a dull roar. He stares, disbelief etching deep lines on his face. He sees the cracked plastic bowl, the moldy bread crust in the plastic bag, the faded, filthy agbada, the bare, muddy feet, and then the eyes. Haunted, roomy, but undeniably, terrifyingly familiar. Baba. Femi breathes, the word barely a whisper, choked with horror. Is that you? Femi, the successful Lagos tech entrepreneur, stands frozen in the heart of Oshodi Market, staring down in utter disbelief and horror at the ragged, sick beggar huddled on the wet cardboard, who is unmistakably his own father, Baba Tund. The polished world of Victoria Island collides violently with the raw struggle of Oshodi. The secret is out. The shame is exposed. The confrontation is inevitable. What words can possibly bridge this chasm? The silence between them is louder than the entire market. Femi, the successful Lagos tech entrepreneur, stands frozen in the heart of Oshodi Market, staring down in utter disbelief and horror at the ragged, sick beggar huddled on the wet cardboard, who is unmistakably his own father, Baba Tund. The polished world of Victoria Island collides violently with the raw struggle of Oshodi. The secret is out. The shame is exposed. The confrontation is inevitable. What words can possibly bridge this chasm? The silence between them is louder than the entire market. Baba Tund collapses, bleeding and gasping for breath, in Femi's sterile luxury apartment. Femi, stripped bare of his arrogance and consumed by terror for his father's life, frantically calls for help. The viral video threat, the business empire, Amaka, all are forgotten in the face of a terrifying reality. His father might die because of the desperate, shameful lengths he went to understand his lost son. The consequences of Femi's neglect are no longer abstract. They are bleeding out on his white rug. Will help arrive in time? And what will remain of their relationship if Baba Tund survives? The weight of ashes is crushing. Chaos. Controlled, sterile chaos. The sharp tang of antiseptic clawed at Femi's nostrils, overpowering the lingering phantom scent of his father's decay. Fluorescent lights hummed, casting a harsh, unforgiving glare on chrome trolleys, blinking monitors, and the frantic efficiency of nurses in pale blue scrubs. The rhythmic beep-beep-beep of machines was a metronome of dread. Femi stood frozen just inside the curtained cubicle, a statue of shock in his mud-splattered Italian loafers and designer shirt, now stained with his father's blood. Baba Tund lay small and terrifyingly still on the narrow gurney. An oxygen mask obscured the lower half of his face, misting with each shallow, labored breath. Tubes snaked from his arms. His borrowed t-shirt was gone, replaced by a thin hospital gown. The exposed skin of his chest, visible beneath leads, was parchment thin, mapped with blue veins and the stark outline of ribs. A doctor, young but with weary eyes, shone a penlight into Baba Tund's unresponsive pupils. "Mr. Adebayo?" The doctor's voice was clipped, professional, cutting through Femi's paralysis. "Your father is critically unstable. Severe pneumonia, exacerbated by extreme exhaustion, malnutrition, and likely pre-existing cardiac strain. We've stabilized him for now, but he's in the ICU. He needs constant monitoring." He gestured towards the frail figure. "What happened? How long was he exposed?" "Living rough." Femi opened his mouth, but no sound came. The truth, days in Oshodi market, pretending to be a beggar, looking for a wife for me, was monstrous, absurd. He saw the flicker of judgment in the doctor's eyes, quickly masked. The polished tech prince, responsible for this. He came from the village, Femi stammered, the lie tasting like dust. "Got lost. I only just found him." The inadequacy of the explanation hung heavy. The doctor nodded, jotting notes, unconvinced. "Exposure like this, it takes time. Days at least. He's severely dehydrated too." He looked up, his gaze direct. "The next 24 hours are critical. We need family history. Any known conditions? Allergies?" Femi's mind blanked. Did Baba have high blood pressure? That cough he always dismissed as just dust? He realized, with a fresh wave of icy shame, that he didn't know. He sent money, not questions. He visited rarely, briefly, performing filial duty like a corporate obligation. He was a stranger to his father's body, his father's life. I'm not sure," he admitted, the words scraping his throat. His village doctor. "I can find out." Another lie. Another failure. The relative quiet of the ER gave way to the low-key dread of the ICU waiting area. Plush but impersonal chairs, muted abstract art, the low murmur of other anxious families. Femi sank into one, burying his face in his hands. The smell of his father's blood was still on his skin. The image of the frail body convulsing, the trickle of blood, it looped relentlessly in his mind. Amaka's furious texts buzzed incessantly in his pocket, ignored. The viral video threat felt distant, trivial, drowned out by the primal fear of losing his father because of his own neglect. A wave of nausea hit him. He lurched towards the men's room. Inside the pristine cubicle, he vomited violently, the expensive lunch with Amaka a bitter memory. He leaned his forehead against the cool tile, trembling. The polished reflection in the mirror above the sink was a stranger. Eyes bloodshot, face pale and drawn, the veneer of success utterly stripped away. He was just a terrified boy facing the terrifying consequence of forgetting his source. The proverb echoed in the sterile silence. The river that forgets its source will surely dry up. Was he the river? Was Baba Tund the source? And was he drying up right before him? Dawn painted the sky in streaks of bruised purple and orange. The market was quiet, a battlefield after the storm. Puddles reflected the dim light, litter swirling in the gutters. Chioma arrived at her stall early, the usual rhythm of setup feeling heavy, disrupted. Her eyes kept darting towards the empty patch of cardboard near the crates. The video on her phone played on a loop in her mind. Femi Adebayo's furious face, the frail old man's terrified resistance. Mama Nkechi shuffled over, her face etched with concern. Chioma Ineni? You saw it? That video? That man, he took our Baba Tund. She spat on the ground. Rich men. They think they own everything. Even old beggars. He wasn't just a beggar, Mama Nkechi, Chioma said softly, arranging plantains with unnecessary force. He was different. He spoke of his son. A lost son. She remembered the intensity, the sorrow. Femi Adebayo. That's his son? Ehen. The tech man. Mama Nkechi scoffed. See his life. Big cars, big houses, while his father sits in mud. Chinique. What kind of heart is that? She shook her head. That video, it's everywhere now. Market WhatsApp. Even Narrowland. People are angry. Chioma pulled out her phone. She searched Femi Adebayo's name. The video popped up instantly, shared hundreds of times. The comments were a torrent of outrage. See as him dey treat human being like goat. Na so dem rich people dey do. No be new thing. A beg who know dis old man. Make we find am. Femi Adebayo, you think say money cover everything? God dey watch. A cold knot of fear tightened in Chioma's stomach. Public anger was a wildfire. Where was Baba Tun now? Was he safe? Had Femi Adebayo hurt him? The memory of the old man's whispered words. I found one. Echoed with chilling ambiguity. Found what? Found her? Had he mentioned her? Was she somehow implicated in this madness? Femi hadn't moved. Coffee cold and bitter, sat untouched beside him. A nurse had updated him an hour ago. Baba Tund was stable but critical. Still unconscious. On a ventilator. The words multi-organ strain and long recovery hung in the air. His phone buzzed again. Not Amaka this time. It was Chaik, his usually unflappable head of PR. Femi answered, bracing himself. Femi? Ogami? Where are you? Chaik's voice was tight, strained. The video, it's viral. Proper viral. BBC Africa picked it up. They're calling for comment. Social media is on fire. Hashtag who is the Oshodi beggar trending. People are digging. Rumors flying. Some are saying he's your uncle, others. Chaik hesitated. Others are speculating worse. Much worse. Femi closed his eyes. The walls felt like they were closing in. Chaik, he's my father. Silence. Then a sharp intake of breath on the other end. Your father? Yezu. Femi, why didn't you? How? Chaik, the master of spin, sounded utterly lost. This changes everything. And nothing. It looks terrible. Why was he there? Why were you handling him like that? It's complicated, Chaik, Femi rasped, the exhaustion bone deep. He's sick. Very sick. In Lagoon Hospital ICU. That's all that matters right now. All that matters? Chaik's voice rose slightly. Femi, with all respect, no. Your company matters. Your investors matter. That ministry contract matters. Amaka just called the office. She's furious, doesn't cover it. She said if you don't contain this by noon, publicly, with a believable story, she's pulling her family's support. And you know what that means for the Eco Hotel deal. The pressure was a vice. His father dying. His empire crumbling. Amaka's ultimatum. The public vilification. Femi felt fractured, pulled apart. I don't have a believable story, Chaik, he snapped. then lowered his voice as other waiting families glanced over. The truth is insane. He was pretending to be poor, to find me a wife. He choked on the absurdity. Chaik was silent for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was grim, pragmatic. Then we spin the truth. We say he has dementia, wandered from his village caretaker. You were desperately searching for him, found him disoriented in Oshodi, and brought him straight to hospital. We leak medical records, carefully. We paint you as the devoted, heartbroken son. We kill the abuse narrative stone dead. It's the only way. Femi stared at the polished floor. Dementia, reducing his proud, desperate father to a pitiable figure lost in his own mind, erasing his deliberate, agonizing sacrifice. It was another betrayal. But was it worse than losing everything? He looked towards the ICU doors. What would Baba Tund want? Shame or survival? This is just the beginning. Smash subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss part 2, where one decision will destroy everything.